Welcome, everyone. I am here today. We're going to talk about M&A with Zareh. Zareh, do you want to kick us off?
Yes, hi, Jeremy. Thanks for having me. A little bit of background on NYBD Group. It's been around for 21 years. We do sell-side, buy-side mandates. Our sell-side mandates, clients usually making between $10 and $50 million in revenue. Our buy-side mandates are private equity firms, strategic buyers, search funds. They could be looking at businesses for a few $100,000 to up to many $1 million in EBITDA. And we're also doing exit planning. So we're helping businesses that aren't ready to sell today to prepare them and build them up in general between 18 and 36 months for them to be exit ready.
What are some of the top focus areas when someone approaches you and you're going to start working with them? What are some of the top focus areas for you?
Most important thing is profitability. If they're not profitable, then it's not our market to sell. There are people that are looking for distressed businesses, but it's not what we do. And then business model. You want it to be more recurring revenue than project-based. And the third one is customer concentration. You don't want a business that is making the bulk of its revenue out of a few customers.
For you, do you look for certain percentages of recurring revenue versus the project-based kind of a thing?
Ideally, over 50% is very good. 80% plus is excellent. If it's 20%, some people might look at it as, okay, it's a good business that has project-based revenue. They have some recurring revenue. We can take that. We can grow it. But you should have a small component of it if you want to make your business quite attractive.
Love it. Love it. What is the timeline of your when you help people?
Pre-COVID, maybe it was 7 to 9 months. Lately, it's been closer to 12 to 15 months. Some businesses can be sold in 6 months. Some businesses take over 2 years. So it's all relative to how ready they are. And when I mean by ready, documentation-wise as well. The longer due diligence takes, the more things can happen. And what I mean by that, the business can look financially quite strong. And if due diligence takes 6 months and the business is not doing as well, then you're going to have issues. So having everything tightened up for due diligence to go quickly will make a huge impact on the total the time span of selling business.
Love it, love it. Yeah, for me and you, people that have seen a lot of these, this is easy for us to understand. But for somebody who is going to be going through this for the first time and they're watching this video right now, if you were to give an example, target company, revenue size, however you want to frame it, what with that example does it look like? What does like 7 to 9 months break out to? Because that's going to be the earlier size versus like the larger sizes. What does that kind of broadly break out to someone who's new in this?
Initially, it's evaluation, and that could take roughly around 2 weeks, I would say, depending on the kind of evaluation. If you want a back of the envelope calculation, I could do that for you in less than an hour. But if you want a proper business insight report where you have a financial and non-financial scorecard, we're going to ask you around 200 questions. We're going to ask for more than just your financials. We're going to have some direct and indirect costs to do some comparables with your competitors. So that's 2 weeks alone. Usually it takes them 2 weeks to give you that information that you're ready at a month. And then you want to decide, this is the crossroad. Do you want to sell your business with the valuation that you see? Or do you want to take it a little bit longer and either use us to help you or do it on your own? If they're okay with that, they send an engagement letter. Then you have the whole marketing material that needs to be compiled. So we have a different set of questions to create the teaser, the sim. Then you need to put it, okay, let's say that might take another few weeks. You're at 2 months already. Then you want to put it on the market. You want to get as many good LOIs as you can. It's rare. Within the first month, you get a fantastic LOI. So that's another 2 to 3 months. You need to vet the buyers during that time. So before due diligence, you already put in a good 5 to 6 months. Due diligence, if it's flying, might take 45 days. It's usually closer to 90 to 120 days. And I've worked on deals where due diligence can take up to a year. This is where you have from 7 months to a year and a half, roughly. But the biggest thing is the due diligence period. That could be quick and that could be quite long. This is assuming that the business sells on the first LOI. So if you need to repeat that, it's much longer.
What are some things that people that are new to this can prepare for to do better in that due diligence phase?
Already have all your documents in place, have your financials updated, and have your future a little bit planned already. You don't want to wake up one day and say, I want to sell my business tomorrow. You want to say that I have a good 2 to 3 years to prepare myself. And little by little, you have all these documents in place. But for sure, if you want to get proper valuation, your financials need to be up to date. Then once you get in the due diligence phase, you want to have all of your corporate books ready, all your manuals ready. So nothing that you've put aside until the last minute.
When someone love all that, when someone approaches you, what 3 to 5 things make you say this person is not ready to go through this process versus here's 3 to 5 things that say you are ready to sell your company?
Be clueless about their valuations, not to understand where they are in the market, and to wake up one day to say, I need the money to sell my business. These are things that I would shy away from. If I'm going to help them to sell the business, I could help them improve their business. But since we're talking about M&A, that would be some of the red flag. The ones that are in very good shape, they're like, I want evaluation, I already gotten one. Already somebody that tells me that they have gotten evaluation and they want to get revalued to get a more up-to-date value of their business is an excellent sign. When they tell me I have everything in place, I have policies in place, I have operating manuals in place, I delegate a lot, this is also an excellent sign. And that I have planned for my future. So I have certain passions in mind that I want to pursue. If those three things are in place, it's an excellent business to exit.
Love it. Love it. As we're getting close to wrapping up here, what are some of the key terms that they should be thinking about when they're doing a deal?
Outside of price, you're negotiating financing terms. So how much of a seller's note are you going to give? How long that seller's note is going to be? Are there some triggers on that seller's note? Some people want some guarantees. Some sellers might be willing to give, some others won't. Because depending, some people might be working in the business while they have these contingencies, some people won't be. The biggest thing is understanding that there's a financing portion to it, and you need to finance a part of it. Interest rates are going down a little bit, but they're still quite high, and every buyer wants some kind of contingency, and that's usually in the form of a seller's note or an earnout. But more often than not, sellers prefer sellers note because there's a little bit more of a guarantee on that.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge today, Zareh.
Thanks, Jeremy.